Good morning, and welcome to the Herb Day Radio Saturday Morning Business Showcase. This time is set aside to help listeners learn about topics of business, services, medical, and legal matters. First today is Kim Boyer of Boyer Territory, a real estate company.
Good morning and welcome to Real Talk. Today we're talking about preparing for the sale. What should you do to prepare for selling your home? Some people are ready at the drop of a hat, but most of us are not. It's like that commercial that's on right now, the guy has a bad spot on the wall. I think it's a paint commercial, and it's taunting him and embarrassing him in front of his relatives, and there's a bad spot on the wall. So it's like making fun of him in front of his in-laws and things like that. That's kind of the way home repairs are. If you don't take care of them, they're just going to get worse, and your friends are going to make fun of you. So maybe make a list of things. Lots of times it's nothing major, but items that need attention, like fresh paint or cleaning out your flower beds, changing the furnace filter. My thermostat has a little reminder on it when you're supposed to change your furnace filter. But if yours doesn't have that, just read what the recommendation is for how often you should change it and put it on your calendar. If you don't, it's probably not going to get done. It's just like the real estate calendar. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. It'll just keep getting pushed to the back. Another thing is a recommendation. I deal with this a lot. Getting your septic pumped out. Most of the time, people don't think anything about this until it's a problem. But you should get your septic pumped out about every 5 years. And there's all different kinds of septics. And some of them have like 2 leach fields, and there's a valve in between. And I learned that if you have this type, you should be switching that valve. The health department recommends about once a year, switch the valve from one leach field to the other, and it lets that leach field rest, which needs to happen, which sounds weird. Why does that stuff need to rest? But it needs a break, that part of the ground. And so I wasn't aware this is the type of leach field I have, and I learned it one day at a septic inspection. I told my husband, and he said, oh yeah, we have one. I switch it every 6 months. I was like, I had no idea. So just things like that you might need to discuss. And then in Highland County, and lots of counties are this way, every time a home is sold, it flags the health department. The health department checks their file for that address to see if there's a current inspection on file, like within the last few years, to see if it was good. If there's not, it's their procedure to contact the new homeowner and have them do an inspection. So if there's something wrong, the new homeowner has to fix it. So it's worth the $50 as a buyer to get that inspection before you purchase, because 9 times out of 10, there's nothing wrong, but sometimes there is. Or sometimes you just find that it needs to be pumped, and lots of times the seller will go ahead and take care of that. But it's just, you need to know what you're getting into. Now, with COVID, the health department is really, really backed up, so, it could be years before they get to you, but it is a possibility, just so you know that. And just some other things that you could check for yourself that I know just from selling homes and walking through with the property inspector, with the home inspector, your electric box. If you have a Federal Pacific brand electric box, get rid of it. They can catch on fire. They're a safety hazard. They won't pass. So that's something that you can check right now. And I know if I found one in my home I was living in, I would want to get rid of it, because you don't want your house to catch on fire if it's something you need to do. So that's something that gets flagged every time. Now, most of the time, like I said, I recommend that buyers get inspections. But as a seller or a homeowner, you could also get your own inspection, because lots and lots of times I see the surprise on the homeowner's face when they get the request for, hey, you need to fix this, hey, you need to fix that. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But lots of times that homeowner didn't even know that problem existed. So it's not a bad idea to get your home inspected just for your own well-being and your own peace of mind. And something else that you can do as a buyer or a seller or just an existing homeowner that's not going to sell is a home warranty. These have become a lot more popular in the last few years. It's like an insurance policy, and there's varying degrees of it, and you can get it for 1 year or 2 years, and then you can renew it. But it's like anywhere from, I think it's $450 to $680, depending on the type of policy you get. But it covers things like your furnace, your hot water heater, your refrigerator, some ceiling fans, and you could even get larger packages that cover swimming pool equipment or septic equipment. And it just covers up to like $2,000 or $3,000, which is a hard hit if it comes all at once. So you just pay that yearly fee, or the one-time yearly fee, however long you're going to keep it. Sometimes people like to get it when they buy a home, is it takes care of things in the first year so that you're not shocked by something until, you can kind of make that home your own. But you still have to pay like a $75 technician fee for when they come to your house. But then if something's wrong and it's covered on that policy, you don't have any more out-of-pocket expense. So it's really a pretty good deal and can keep you from having a shock like that. So, and that's another thing. And you'll see that if you're looking for homes, some sellers offer it with the home. Sometimes the buyer can ask for that, for the seller to reimburse them for that or cover that in their offer, or they can buy it themselves, or you don't have to get it at all. We're from the country, and a lot of us are really handy. We take care of all of our own stuff, and we don't like stuff like that. So it just depends on the person and what you like and what you want. But definitely recommend those, and recommend home inspections. And I know several, and they're going to find something. I've mentioned this before. If you're hiring a home inspector, he's going to find things. And it doesn't mean that the home is a bad home if things are found. It's just life on earth. Things decay, things wear out, things need replaced. Maybe the home is brand new and something was put together wrong or something. There's all kinds of things that can happen. But if you want to do a home inspection, it varies by inspector, but around $300 is about the cost for a home inspection. And nowadays, most of them have really good reports that they can just send to your email. There's pictures, notations it's really easy to find what they're talking about. And a home inspector is just like a general inspector. And he may point out things that, like, say he couldn't get the furnace to run or the AC to run, and he knows that there's a problem. Now, he's not an HVAC specialist, but he can point out that there's a problem with that, and then you can get that further investigated by an HVAC specialist to know exactly what's wrong. Sometimes it might just be a condenser or a relay or something kind of cheap, or sometimes, man, that thing is a dead horse and you need to bury it. So, but they're not specialists, but they can point things out for you. And termite inspectors, and we call them termite inspectors, but they really check for all kinds of bugs. So that's just another inspection you can get. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this. Hey there, this is Kim Boyer with Boyer Territory, and our featured listing this week is 1323 Turner Road, Bainbridge, Ohio, 45612. And this is a beautiful 4-bedroom, 2 full and 1/2 bath home. It's got a full basement, unfinished, with a walkout. It's on 11.724 plus or minus acres. It has a gas fireplace, a formal dining room, attached garage, has a first floor master bedroom with an attached master bathroom. There's lots of room here for family and entertaining, and as in the country, it has a Bainbridge address. You're in Pike County in the Waverly School District. So if you've got questions about this home, give us a call today, 937-393-9270. All right, we're back, and we're going to keep talking about preparing for the sale of your home. We ended talking about home inspections. You can do a general home inspection, a termite inspection, septic inspection, HVAC. There's all kinds of things depending on the home. And people always want to know, well, what kind of things are going to be found? The most common ones. Now, You can do a home inspection, and that is up to you, the individual, and that report is only for you. Nobody else requires it. But I always recommend that you get it. You don't have to have it, but it's always a good idea. Now, sometimes people get this inspection and the appraisal confused. They think it's the same thing, but it's not at all. The appraisal is something that the bank requires if you are getting a loan to purchase this home. They send someone out to appraise it, make sure it's worth what you're paying for it, because they're looking to protect their own interests. If for some reason you default and they're stuck with it and they have to sell it, they want to make sure that it's in good condition and that they would be able to resell it. So when the appraiser comes, they are going to look for some things that an inspector does, but it's not as deep as what the inspector does. When an appraiser comes, and I've been through enough of these to tell you, when I'm looking at a home inspection, I can almost tell you if any of those things are going to be flagged by the appraiser when they come. So, as a seller, if you're selling and a buyer comes in and does a home inspection and they give you this list of things they want you to do, be prepared that when the appraisal is done, there might also be some things that the bank needs done, and it can't go through. The loan can't go through unless those things are done. But typical things that are found are like there's no GFCI outlets. You got to have those ground fault circuit interrupters within 10 feet of water is the rule, I believe. So if you don't have those are not a hard fix. Most people can install those themselves, or you can get somebody to do it for not a lot of money. But and one mistake that I see sometimes is there might be one of those in the kitchen and the other ones don't show that they have it on there, but it's done in the electric box. So that's not something, unless you know something about electric or you have someone inspect that for you, because I've had that flagged before, that, hey, there's only one. But upon further investigation, when the electrician looked in the box, he said it's daisy chained in there. So it is there. You just don't know it unless you're qualified to check that out. So that's a major one that has to be done, especially if it's an FHA loan. And a lot of people use FHA loans. The other one is, there's a safety valve on your hot water heater. It's called a TPR valve. And it doesn't come with a tube attached to it. So what would happen if you were standing close by and that TPR valve would blow? It would get you right in the face. So the recommendation is to put a drain pipe on it. And that's a pretty easy install. Most anybody can do that, or you can hire somebody to do it for pretty cheap. But that's something that's going to get flagged every time by the appraiser because it's a safety. Another thing might be if you've got steps outside and it's 3 steps, it needs a handrail. And FHA won't let that pass. You got to have a handrail. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but it has to be there. So those are just some things that they're going to flag. Now, I've seen all kinds of things in these home inspections, and everybody's different. When one person looks at a home inspection, you could show the same home inspection report to 2 or 3 different people, and they all get a different idea of what they want fixed. And that's a kind of a negotiation between the buyer and the seller. And I've seen all kinds. I've seen a seller say, I can't do anything else, or I won't do anything else, and it's an as-is sale and we're not fixing anything. But then I've seen buyers who will get inspections, and sometimes if they're a new purchaser, it's their first time, they're scared to death, and the delivery that the home inspector uses to tell these folks about what they found can kill the deal or make them feel really good. But you can make somebody feel really bad about something that's not even a safety issue and nothing that's really bad, but they don't know any different because it's their first time buying a home. So while I want everyone to know what they're getting, I don't want them to feel scared to death one way or the other. Buy the home if you want to buy the home. If you don't want to buy the home, don't buy the home. I want people to be happy on both sides, but and it's just everybody has a different experience with houses. I remember when I was young, I used to crawl underneath the house with my dad and thaw out pipes and wrap heat tape. And, nowadays I have a basement, so I don't ever have to do that because my pipes don't ever freeze. But then there's some new construction going on now where they finish the crawl space to where you don't ever have the problems that you'd have with a typical crawl space because it's finished, it's concrete, it's heated and cooled, and it's the same temperature as your house. And I'm just like, that is a great idea. Whoever thought of that? So there's all kinds of things. And there's things that you can do yourself or things that you can hire done. There are some things that you could do that are pretty easy to prepare your home for sale, like if you have vinyl siding, wash it. That's a really easy one to do, and there's lots of different ways to do that. I mean, I think it was the second home I bought, would get, where the one side of the house wasn't in the sun, is in the shade a lot, and it would get moldy looking on that side of the house. And, once or twice a year, I'd get a bucket, put some dish soap in it and a little bit of bleach, and I'd scrub it off and hose it down, and it was fine until the next year. Well, now I live in a 2-story house, and I can't really reach all that, but there are a couple spots that still do that. But you can buy this stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot or probably even Walmart and hook up to your hose and spray it on and rinse it off, and it works. Or you can go one step further and hire somebody to power wash it. Jason Gall, he's our local, got the Highland Power Wash, and it cleans your windows also. He's got stuff he can put in there and clean your windows. So it's kind of up to you what level, but there's something that you can do for each level. So if you got questions about that, just let me know. Give me a call at 937-393-9270. You can reach us on the web, on our website, boyerterritory.com. You can email me at boyerterritory@outlook.com. And like I always say, keep your credit clean and don't quit your job.